Imagine being buried alive. Imagine the dirt pressing down on your chest, the silence, the absolute suffocating darkness. It is the primal fear of every human being now. Imagine something worse. Imagine being buried alive, not in the earth, but inside a living, breathing monster. You are not in a coffin. You are in a stomach. You are surrounded by acid and crushing muscle, and you are not still. You are moving, you are diving deep into the crushing pressure of the ocean floor. You are trapped in a prison that no human has ever escaped from. This is the story of the man who lived through the impossible, the man who experienced a terror so profound it is known in the Quran as the three darknesses. This is the untold story of the prophet Jonah, or Yunus, peace be upon him. And it is not just a story about a whale. It is a story about the moment when hope reaches zero, and what you do when there is absolutely no way out. To understand the horror of the whale, we first have to understand the run. Prophet Yunus was sent to a city called Nineveh in modern-day Iraq. It was a massive city filled with over 100,000 people, but they were stubborn, they worshipped idols, they were arrogant. For years, Yunus called them to the one God. He warned them. He debated with them. He pleaded with them. And for years, they mocked him. Who are you? You are just one man. Where is this punishment you promise? Prophet Yunus was a human being. He had a heart that could feel pain and frustration, and eventually his patience ran out. He became angry, not for himself, but for God. He looked at these people and decided they were a lost cause. He decided they deserved the punishment. So, he made a decision that would change his destiny. He decided to leave. He didn't wait for the command from Allah. He didn't get permission to resign from his mission. He simply walked away. He turned his back on the city, vowing never to return. He walked toward the sea. He wanted to get as far away as possible. He found a ship that was leaving the harbor, fully loaded with passengers and cargo. He paid his fare and boarded. He stood on the deck watching the city disappear on the horizon. He probably felt relief. He thought he had left his burden behind. He didn't know that he was sailing directly into a divine storm. When the ship reached the middle of the open sea, the sky turned black. The wind began to scream. Waves the size of mountains crashed against the wooden hull. The ship was being tossed like a toy. The sailors, experienced men of the sea, knew this was not a normal storm. This was a wrath. They began to throw the cargo overboard, the expensive goods, the luggage, the food. Everything went into the water to lighten the ship, but it wasn't enough. The ship was still sinking. The captain realized the terrible truth. There is someone on this ship who has sinned. Someone here is a fugitive from his master. The sea will not calm down until he is gone. They decided to cast lots. A draw, whoever's name was picked, would be thrown overboard to save the rest. They drew the first name. It was Yunus. The sailors looked at him. They saw a righteous man, a quiet man, a man with the face of a prophet. They said, "No, we cannot throw him. He looks like a man of God. Let us draw again." They drew the second name. It was Yunus. They were confused. This must be a mistake. They drew a third time. It was Yunus. Prophet Yunus understood. This was not chance. This was a message. Allah was telling him, "You cannot run from me." He didn't fight. He didn't argue. He stood up, walked to the edge of the ship, and looked down into the raging black water. He took off his outer garment, and he jumped the moment he hit the water. The chaos began, the cold shock, the violent waves crashing over his head, but he didn't drown. From the depths of the ocean, a massive creature had been commanded to rise. A whale, a creature specifically designed by Allah for this exact moment. It opened its mouth, a mouth like a cavern gate, and it swallowed him whole. The Quran says, "La," commanded the whale, "do not break his bones, and do not tear his flesh, for he is not food for you, he is a prisoner." Yunus slid down the throat of the beast. He landed in the stomach. Imagine the sensation, the heat, the slime, the overwhelming, suffocating smell. He passed out from the shock. When he woke up, he was lying in darkness. He moved his hand and he felt the soft, wet walls of the stomach. He thought he was dead. He thought he was in the grave. He tried to move his legs. They moved. He realized he was alive. He fell into prostration and said, "O Lord, I have built a mosque for you in a place where no one has ever prostrated before." But the reality of his situation quickly set in. He was alive, but for how long? The air was running out. The stomach acid was rising. The heat was unbearable, and then the whale dived. It went down to the bottom of the ocean, and this is where the three darknesses enveloped him. The Quran describes his distress, and he called out within the darknesses. The scholars explain these three layers. The darkness of the night, the sun had set, and the world above was pitch black. The darkness of the sea. He was miles underwater where sunlight never reaches. The darkness of the whale's belly. He was sealed inside a living container, layer upon layer of blackness, isolation upon isolation. There was no cell phone, no GPS, no hope of a rescue team. No human being on Earth knew where he was, even if they wanted to save him. They couldn't. He was lost in the vastest, deepest place on the planet. Psychologically, this is the breaking point. This is the moment of absolute despair. Yunus sat in that darkness. He heard the strange sounds of the ocean outside. Some narrations say he heard a low, rhythmic humming sound. He asked through revelation, "What is this sound?" And he was told, "It is the sound of the rocks and the fish at the bottom of the sea, glorifying Allah. Even the pebbles in the darkness were worshiping." And Yunus realized his mistake. He realized that he had given up on his people too soon. He realized that he had walked away from his duty without permission. He realized that his anger had overcome his patience. He didn't make excuses, he didn't say, "But Lord, they were stubborn." He didn't say, "I tried my best." He owned it. And in that crushing darkness, he uttered the prayer that would become the most powerful weapon for any believer in distress until the end of time. He called out, "There is no deity except you. Exalted are you indeed. I have been of the wrongdoers. Let's break down this password, this code that unlocked the jaws of the beast." It has three parts. He started by acknowledging that there is no power, no helper, no one in charge except Allah. He cut off hope in the ship, in the sailors, in his own swimming ability. He focused entirely on the One. He praised Allah. He declared that Allah is perfect. He is saying, "You're not treating me unfairly. You are perfect. This situation is not a mistake on your part. It is a decree of wisdom." He admitted his fault. No excuses, no buts. He took full responsibility. "I messed up. I was wrong. I was hasty." This combination, monotheism, praise, and confession, is the master key to the mercy of Allah. Allah heard him. The Quran says, "So we responded to him and saved him from the distress, and thus do we save the believers." This is the promise. This story isn't just about a prophet. It is about you. Allah commanded the whale. The beast, which was just a servant, obeyed. It swam up. It rose from the depths, breaking the surface of the water near a barren shore. It opened its mouth, and it gently cast Yunus onto the dry land. He was alive, but he was in a terrible state. His skin had been bleached by the acids. He was raw, sensitive, and unable to move. The sun would have burned him alive. The flies would have eaten him. But Allah's mercy didn't stop with the rescue, and we caused to grow over him a gourd vine, a pumpkin tree, or a squash plant. Why this plant? Scholars say its leaves are huge and soft, providing shade. Flies do not like it. It grows fast. It covered him. It protected his damaged skin. It provided him with food. He lay there recovering, healing, reflecting on the miracle he had just survived. And then, when he was strong again, Allah commanded him, "Go back. Go back to the city you ran from. Go back to the people you thought were hopeless." Yunus went back. He expected to find them destroyed. He expected to see ruins, but when he arrived, he saw a sight that shocked him more than the whale. The entire city of Nineveh, all 100,000 people, had come out to the desert. They were wearing sackcloth. They were praying. They had seen the signs of the storm. They had realized Yunus was right. And in his absence, they had repented. The entire nation accepted Islam. Yunus had given up on them, but Allah had not. The storm that swallowed Yunus was the same storm that saved his people. His failure was the catalyst for their success. This story leaves us with profound lessons for our own lives. We all have our whale. Your whale might be depression. It might be debt. It might be a toxic relationship. It might be an addiction you can't break. You feel swallowed. You feel trapped in the darkness. You feel like no one can hear you and no one can save you. You feel buried alive. You are in the three darknesses. The darkness of your problem, the darkness of your anxiety, and the darkness of your isolation. And you might think, I am done. This is the end, but remember Yunus? He was in a situation that was physically impossible to escape. Did he panic? Did he scream? No. He utilized the secret weapon. He used the password. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said about this prayer, "Not Muslim man ever calls upon his Lord with these words concerning any matter, but that Allah answers him. It is a guarantee, but you have to mean it. You have to admit your part in the mess. You have to stop blaming the world. Stop blaming your boss. Stop blaming your family and say, oh Lord, you are perfect, and I have made mistakes. Save me." The second lesson is about running away. We often run from our problems. We run from our responsibilities. We quit the job. We end the marriage. We cut off the family member, thinking that leaving will bring us peace. We get on the ship. But often, we are sailing directly into a storm. We think we are escaping, but we are actually running towards a bigger test. Yunus learned that you cannot find peace by running from your destiny. You find peace by facing it with Allah's help. And finally, the lesson of hope. Yunus thought his people were finished. He thought they were trash, but Allah knew that inside those stubborn hearts, there was a capacity for change. Never write anyone off. Never say that person will never change. Never say, I will never change. If a city of 100,000 idol worshippers can turn to God in a single day, then your heart can change too. Your situation can change too. The whale is not a tomb. It is a transportation device. It took Yunus from a state of anger to a state of humility. It took him from running away to coming back. Whatever you are going through right now, whatever darkness you are in, treat it like the belly of the whale. It is a place of seclusion, a place of training. Use the darkness to glorify Allah. Use the isolation to connect with Him, and know with certainty that the one who commanded the beast to swallow you is the only one who can command it to spit you out. And when you emerge on the shore, you will be better, stronger, and closer to Him than you ever were before.